feel the boom.
Oh my god. What the fuck is this? Oh, fuck me. No. Oh, damn it. I tried to have this upload on the day after. Oh, for fuck's sake. I tried to have this upload on the day after, like, my Marvin video, but now my parents are going to be home for the next few days. Oh, I can't, like, I can't even, I did a good job recording this as well. I, like, did a pretty good explanation of everything. No, I have to wait 2 more days before I can re-record this again and start processing this video. God damn it. Like, look, there's like no sound. There's literally no sound coming out from my editor because I didn't record my goddamn voice. I can't even go over it and like remember what I've said. And you can see me like I'm like explaining right here. Oh my holy Jesus God. Well, looks like this video is going to be postponed for 3 days. Sorry guys. I really hate myself right now. Hey guys, BTD Legend here, back with another new analysis video. If you're a new subscriber or you're new to this series, then this series is basically me going through some competitive games and analyzing the game to determine how each player played and what we can do to improve upon that, and the mechanics behind what we do. But before I begin this video, please make sure to check out part 1 and part 2. I will link them down in the description below. Because in this video, I have to assume that you guys have already watched part 1 and part 2 and are going to be knowing some of the concepts that I've already talked about. Also, if you think this video is a bit too long, like say 30 minutes or 40 minutes, I obviously have no idea since I'm just recording this. Feel free to take a break at any time. Remember where you were up to. Don't be one of those people who look at the video and go, oh, 40 minutes, that's way too long, I'm not going to watch it. All you have to do is just watch it in 2 parts. Watch the first 20 minutes and then watch the second 20 minutes. But enough rambling from me, let's get started with this analysis. So, you can see that we're up against Gray, who is Samyak. You can probably go check him out in the comment section down below. He usually comments on my videos. And yep, it seems that he's going to be sending a lot. So I got my Dart Monkey to a 0-3. And I noticed that his Dart Monkey spot is different to my Dart Monkey spot. Now, if you don't know, I chose this Dart Monkey spot on the lines here to not leak a single life, whereas he sacrificed a few lives in exchange for being able to hit this part of the track and this part of the track. And you can see he's trying to layer in some blues and pinks over the top. Now I've made sure that I've put this Dart Monkey on last so it can make these sort of gaps. Wait. So yeah, you can see that it's making these sort of gaps. So when it hits the blue blooms a bit, it helps a lot when dealing with pinks. So I put this Dart Monkey on last and I microed it to first. And he didn't send too many blues, so I just left it on a 0-2 Dart Monkey. And you can see right here that if I left this triple Dart Monkey on last, it would barely hit anything apart from these pinks. So I microed it to first, as you can see here, and look at that, it saved about like what, 20 lives. Oops, why did I pause that? And this start monkey, since he had that start monkey spot, I decided to not layer it in with blues and then send pinks because his start monkey spot can hit here, which will get the blues to reds for a bit. And by the time the group balloons will get here, they'll be reds. And if you send pinks right then and there, then the rush would not be nearly as effective as if you just sent pinks. Unless of course you sent like a heap of blues and you start overwhelming the start monkey and force this start monkey to become a 0-2, then yeah, you'll cause some damage. However, because you sent a lot more money on rushing with eco balloons, they'll have a lot more money for farms and they'll put you behind on farms. Now, farms, it's preferable over eco because in part 2 I said why farms are much more desirable than eco. Even though eco does help, farms are basically slightly better than eco. So you know what, I'm just gonna randomly put a clip here of showing you guys how to use these spots, and these spots are actually very effective if your opponent sends script balloons, but against pinks they're not as effective, so I'll show you right now. Okay, so we have Zhao right here. He's going to be sending some stuff to us. Let's skip right to round 4, just so I can show you how good these new dart spots are. But first things first, let me just put it so that the start monkey, you see, this placement is very important because this line here has to touch the halfway mark, and yeah, and I can do that. So wait, no, I have to do this. So if I put on last, it can hit that, and if I put on first, it can hit this part of the track as well. And I'll get it up to a triple dot right away. And the reason I'm not getting a farm is because I don't need to, just for the purpose of this. And he's getting a farm only to send the right amount of stuff. He's going heli. Okay, interesting. And yeah. Okay, let's not anti-stall too much. Let's do that. Have it hit the front. Okay, leave it on 0-2. And get it to a 0-3 now, so you can have the correct amount of money. Okay, thumbs him up. Alright, put this on last, put a 0-0 down one here, and you can see that it just does a lot of work. And then I'll put this to close, and look at all these blues get raped. Oh my god. And now you can see that I defended that, and I lead to like 28 lives, and I didn't even need to get this to a 0-1. Look at how crazy that is. Obviously, I probably needed to get this 0-0 dot to a 0-1 or 0-2 if he sent like way more blues, but if he just kept sending pinks, then that would have been absolutely fine. Let's set this as last. Okay, I can hit that. Let's set this as first. Oh, we can hit that, okay, because it just reaches the halfway mark on that track, so it can. I'll get this up to a 0-1 right now. And yeah. Oh, he's not getting a farm. Okay, well, I mean, this time he is just sending pinks, so I guess that's alright. With this part, even though this isn't as good as for pinks, you can put this on close, and you can get away with doing this. So you can see here, I can leave this on a 0-1, and it might be better to leave on a 0-2, but you're still leaking a very minimal amount of lives, leaving this on a 0-1, and that could be the difference of getting your farm just in time to collect all bananas, or sending more eco balloons to your opponent's side, or just, I don't know, anything. So this is why this is the new meta spot. It's better than this one because it can't hit here, as you can see, like that. Because yeah, so this and this spot. So yeah, And we're back. Okay, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Hopefully you guys learned something from that small clip. He did bloom boost those blacks, so I had to get it up to a triple dot right away. And I wanted to send him blacks as well, but I was also about to get my farm up. Technically, yeah, now I send blacks since I'm able to afford it. And since he doesn't have that to a triple dot, then it can layer with round 7 AI and I can deal some damage. Preferably you don't want to put a 0-0 dart here just yet, because if it hits these blacks, they become pinks and they'll become so much harder for these dart monkeys to hit and you'll leak a lot more lives. Not to mention it shows that you're prepared for a yellow rush. So I can send a lot less yellows, and he can get this up to a spike pole. Whereas if I didn't have my spike pole up or my 0-0 dot monkey up here, he would be prompted to send a lot more yellows. You can see here that he sent like 5 sets. But if I sent him anything, I could probably send him like 3 sets, and he would upgrade. So round 9, you can basically just build a farm. Even if you don't have money for a spike pole, you can build a farm and greed. Because if they send you yellows, you can get up a spike pole straight away. Since round 9, it's extremely quick, and you can get your money or bananas, as you can say, straight away. And I start doing my rush. Just Les to force his juggernaut early, and just regen Les at the back to layer with these regen zebras. And you can see here that he got up his spike pole, so I was like, okay, I don't have to send whites and pinks, because if I send whites and pinks, they're going to be extremely ineffective unless I send a massive regen rush, which in my opinion isn't worth it, because they can just boost and get away with the farm lead. So I decided to not send anything, and I get up my juggernaut and I start to use my road spikes, because I thought he wasn't going to send me any whites, but he did see that I didn't get a spike bolt, so he did the smart thing and sent whites and pinks to punish me. So as I thought the rush was ending, I finally recognized this part of the rush a bit late. So I did have to boost. That's why you should always go for your spike pole and then your triple dart, no matter what. And he did send rainbows as a counter, and you can see that I didn't have enough money for a 2-3 monkey ace. So yeah, if he sent a bigger rush and I didn't get my monkey ace to 2-3, then I would have been screwed. But he did send a tiny rush, so I didn't need to sell an extra farm to get up a 2-3 and drain myself even further. I only need to get a 0-3 and sell that and keep her on farms. It's generally not a good idea. So it looks like he sent a huge rush with those boosted rainbows and those round 11 regen white rush. And it looks like I'm ahead on farms by an entire 1-0 farm. Although he does have an extra spike pole over me. And yeah. And he just got up this farm. And I have $2,000 saved up, so I was like, why not just make him build something? And I bloom boost this and send a bit of white, since I know he barely has any money. And you can see here that he got up 2 spike poles because of it and a triple dart. That in my opinion is worth it, because since I sent zebras and then whites, whites are actually pretty good for eco. They're not very effective, but they are cheaper than zebras, and it does make the rush look like it's completely zebras, so they could be tricked into building extra defense, especially with my bloom boost, because usually if you bloom boost something, it's going to be a deadly rush. and he wasted like what $2,500 getting these 2 spike poles and 1 extra triple dart monkey, and he didn't sell them to and he got his 5th farm to a plantation, which was weird. Usually I leave my 5th farm to a 1-0, and yeah, I managed to get up my BIA at the end of round 16. But you're probably thinking, since I have enough money to go for my BIA at the start of round 16, why didn't I sell these 4 plantations and go for my BIA anyway? And why did I wait until the end of the round? Because if you do it now, then you still get 80 eco at the start of round 17, and you already have more money saved up in your BIA, so that's a good thing, right? Well, yes, that is a good thing, but I've tested this multiple times with a friend, and it's better to wait until the end of the round and then get it, if you can save a plantation. If you can't save a plantation, then obviously getting it at the start of the round is much better. But see, look, you're still getting bananas within this round as well. You can see me collecting it, and I managed to save 1 plantation, so that's good. And this plantation can act as a safety cushion. And not only that, because you got the BIA before round 17, you're still going to be getting the extra eco. And even though you're going to have a little less money in your BIA to invest and grow with, you did have extra money, and that extra money went into the plantation, and that plantation is going to be generating you money as well, and it's going to be near round 18, and you're going to be a lot less likely to collect from your BIA if you can sell your plantation, sell some darts and some spike poles to defend, say, a moab and leads behind it. So let's continue with this analysis. I leaked about 6 lives and I'm down onto 8 lives. That's not a good sign for me because for moab, I have to be extra careful, and I don't have any road spikes as well for the moabs. And I was wondering if I should get this BIA to a 2-4 instead of leaving it as a 1-4. The reason why you should go for a 2-4 is because I believe it takes 5 rounds for a 2-4 BIA to go from $0 to $20,000 that's completely filled up. Whereas if you leave it as a 0-4 or 1-4 BIA, then it's going to take 6 rounds, which is an entire round for you to collect your BIA from. And that 1 round you can have, say, a factory for an entire factory up for 1 round, and that could generate you like what, $4,500, and you can use that $4,500 to get a huge lead. Even though Samyak right here, if he stays with a 1-4 BIA or something, maybe I could be stuck with a plantation and he could use that extra money for a republic. However, I would be the one getting the facility 1 round earlier, and that way I'm going to get an advantage. So that's why when I go for my BIA, I don't wait an extra round just to get the BIA to 2-4 in one go. I get it to 1-4 at the end of round. Let me give you guys an example. So AsianSensation, for example, he gets say 5 or 6 plantations to 2-0, and he can't afford his BIA on round 16, so he has to wait until round 17 to afford it. And so he has to 2-4 by round 17, therefore he can get his facility by round 22, which is a really fast round. Whereas if you do it the way I did it, like don't get your last farm to a 2-0, instead leave it as a 1-0, And instead of waiting until round 17, like AsianSensation, to go for BIA, you can do it one round earlier at the end of round 16 to go for a 1-4 BIA, and that way I can get the 80 eco and then work my way up to a 2-4 BIA, so it can generate me money much faster by say around 17. So I'm going to have 80 extra eco compared to AsianSensation, and that's going to be $800 a minute. If you watch part 2 already, you know that this advantage is going to snowball into like 1 or 2 facilities by the round 30s, and that's a significant difference. But I've been on this stream way too long, so let's continue. I decided to go for a 2-4 BIA, but that wasn't the best idea, since I was going to send a moab straight after it, because he was under defending a little bit. Like, he had to boost to defend the moab, since his dart monkeys weren't since he didn't have enough dart monkeys to defend a moab without boost. While I was distracted trying to do that, he sent me free ceramics, and I noticed a bit too late, so I had to boost. There was no way I was going to sell a plantation and build up triple dart monkeys to defend that. So yeah, and you can see that I almost die, but if I had like 100 or something lives, then I could probably afford to sell this plantation and start triple dart spamming, but I am low on lives, so I had to boost straight away, and that was a scary moment for me. So the next rush he sends, which is a moab or something, I'm probably going to have to fan club. And you can see that here there was no way he was going to survive this moab without a boost. And I timed it so that my next moab would be during round 17 with the round 19 AI. And he sent me one, but he died, see? Because he didn't get up enough triple dart monkeys up in time. Even though if you can look over here, he didn't really he didn't really target his juggernaut to first and help hit those ceramics, so that was a misplay on his part. Probably could have saved him. So that's another reason why target micro is so important, so you can save a heap of lives, probably even save your lives, and could probably give you a farm advantage since you don't have to defend as much if you use target micro. I'll actually mod this account right now and show you an example of target micro in Dreadbloon Cave. So you can see here, this is a very good example of target micro. All of these dart monkeys are on first, and if you send a moab and 4 zebras, you can see that it leaks. These front darts, they target the zebras instead of the moab, and yeah, and you can see that it leaks about, say, 22 lives. So if you send a moab and 4 zebras again, or was that free? I have no idea how much I sent. I probably sent free because my dart monkeys started hitting them a bit earlier. Yeah, okay. So I sent like 3 sets of zebras or something. Let's send a moab 1, 2, 3, 4. I should leak about 22 lives right now. And yeah, I go straight down to 87, which is 22 lives. So what happens when we put these 2 darts on strong, send that 1, 2, 3, 4. This time, these dart monkeys won't target the zebras, they'll target the moab. And when all of these balloons are gone, I change my dart monkeys to first. And you can see how many lives I leak right now. I leaked about 10 lives. So the reason why this is so effective is, say, if you target these to strong, and the moab is here and the zebras are here, the zebras, they're already going to be taken care of by these 2 dart monkeys here. So why have these 2 dart monkeys do like 3 pops, right here, when they can target the big guy and start damaging the moab early. And if the moab gets popped early, then if you have a juggernaut here, then maybe that could do working on the ceramics instead of, say, popping the moab late, and the juggernaut might miss a chance on targeting the ceramics. I probably spoke a bit too fast, but you guys know where I'm trying to get here. But what if we set these to strong and don't micro it back to first? Let's send one moab, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see how this goes. So are we going to leak 10 lives or 22 lives? Well, you're going to leak a lot more, because you can see here that you leak 15 lives instead of 10 lives. But what about if I send this 1, 2, 3, 4 and then micro this back to first? I don't leak 15 lives, I leak 10 lives or something, or 9 lives, I have no idea. And you can see that I leak 10 lives again. This is why you always micro your darts back to strong as soon as there are no balloons in front of the moab, because if you put it on strong, then that kind of moves its targeting a little bit and it hits the moab in a slightly different way. Or it might hit like the surroundings here and not the front balloons here, because I don't know, yeah, it's just better to put like 1 or 2 dart monkeys on strong and then micro it back to first. Assuming if you don't have money to spam triple darts at the back and you don't know what to do, putting a dart monkey on strong is a good idea, just in case AI balloons get in the way. Okay, and we're back. Hopefully that gave you an insight as to how effective target micro is with moabs, and let's skip forward a bit. It's pretty much the same thing as what happened before, except this time Samyak isn't really sending anything. So yeah, I can leave my Damonkey on a 0-2 and get off my farm, and get 2 extra bananas from it. So I start layering with reds and blues, which is a really stupid idea on my part, because he can start hitting it right away, whereas I can't even hit this bit. So I have to send a lot more if I have to pressure him or make him build way more. And he decides to be an idiot and send me pinks and not groups balloons, because this Star Monkey spot is good against pink balloons, and as you can see, it's just, I can just tank like this and leak very minimal lives. So yeah, these were misplays on both of our parts. And he did micro this from last to close to first, so he leaked very minimal lives. If he did the same thing to me, I would have leaked a lot more. And you can, and the only reason he's leaking so much right now is because that I'm continuously sending pings and he's not using this spot anymore, which I find quite interesting. And he has the farm lead, but this farm is on 0-0, and I got mine on 2-0 and 1-0 at the start of the round, so we both get an equal amount of bananas from each farm. And he already has his second triple dart to 0-3. Therefore, if I send any blacks, then it'll be ineffective, and he can just save up money for his next farm and get ahead of me on farms. So yeah, let's skip forward a little, and you can see here that if you prepare a 0-0 dart here, it's going to cause quite a few problems round 7. It's going to make you slightly more prone to leaking, since you turn them to pinks, and the pinks are going to be so much faster. And you can see that he sends a lot of yellows, and he notices that I'm sending a lot of black balloons, and then regen white balloons, or wait, no, he started sending straight away. And I got up this farm as well. I didn't get it till 1-0, otherwise I wouldn't have money for a spike bolt. And I actually didn't have money for a spike bolt right here, right now. However, he did stop sending, so that was a good thing on. So I got kind of lucky, and I microed this triple dart monkey to first, as you can see here, down here. If you can just look at that, and you can see that it just saves like tens or dozens of lives. I would probably be on 30 lives right now if it wasn't for target micro. And I'm going to keep my dart monkey on 0, oh wait, on 2-0, and get up my farm instead of getting my spike bolt, because as I've said, with round 9, we can get a lot of bananas straight away, so it's worth it. And I decided to try out a white region white rush, and it forces them up to get up an entire triple dart. Because someone told me that region whites work well on round 9 since it lays in with the region yellows, but he's going to be extra prepared for round 11, round 10. But he did struggle getting up that juggernaut, so yeah. And we send our usual rushes as always. And this time I decided to get up a spike bolt this time. And he's already starting to chase, and he did boost, and he sent region whites behind it. And I tried to spike it because I thought that it was going to region a lot, but it didn't. So yeah. And here I actually decided to go for a kill. But he got up his Operation Darkstorm straight away, so I've been much better not sending that rainbow. So he can drain himself with the Operation Darkstorm, and I would have saved myself about $550 that I could spend on my farms instead. And if I had that $550, then I could have gone for a farm, but instead, I decided to do that. Since he got himself drained with that Operation Darkstorm, and he built up two plantations straight away, so I was like, wait, how is he getting this much money? He probably doesn't even have camo detection. So I sent this weird rush. Don't know what I was trying to achieve with that, but I was trying to exploit his camo defense and get it past him. And you can see that he upgrades his camo detection dart monkeys a bit late, and he loses about 6 lives and uses the spikes for 1. So that's 1 spike down, and I can have an easier time getting rid of him during moab territory. And I see a lot of people say Lemo. Everyone puts their juggernaut here, but Lemo, he just spams a ton of spike bolts like down here, which are going to detect these balloons very late, so they're not going to be too effective. I also see Zhao, if that's how you pronounce it. He places his spike bolts here, which lines up nicely with this line and can almost solo regen leads, constant regen leads, but he has to get up about 4 spike bolts. But however, these spike bolt spots are a lot better, because unlike Gray's spike bolt spots, which hit here and they don't hit this part of the track at all, mine's these spike bolt projectiles, they go across here and they go up a little, so that makes the most out of the spike bolt's pierce. And trust me, it's just a lot more effective than these spike bolt spots. So yeah, and you can see here that I died to this rush, although it wasn't a very big rush at all. Well, technically it was a sort of a big rush, but you can see here that you can see here that there's still regen blacks here, which could become regen leads later on, and I tried to micro my dart monkey to strong. If I put it on first, then it would target these balloons here and shoot this way. It's only if the balloons are here and or say a moab is here, then I target the juggernaut to first, but I try to put out too strong so I can follow these balloons and just continuously shoot that way, then that way. But I hit tab an extra time, and it kind of screwed me over. And I was like, oh no, these leads are gonna regen. I have to spike that. And I tried to spike it and build triple dart monkeys, but I leaked approximately the necessary amount of lives for me to die. So yeah. So that was an example of failed target micro. I microed it wrong, or even if I put on first, I should have done it a bit later. That would have helped a lot, so that those regen blacks wouldn't regrow as much. But yeah, this was my fault. So good game, and I think I go to sleep for the night, since yeah, I was playing this during midnight and I was pretty tired, so say goodbye to Samyak guys and say hello to Garald, and I'm just gonna have a drink of water. Be right back, boys. Okay, I'm back, and I believe this is the last game of today. There's 13 minutes left, so you guys know that it's going to go past round 32. And this time I'm on the left side, whereas he's on the right side. And you can see he's using the same spots as my previous two opponents. So these spots are the new meta. And if you saw the clip that I put into this video before, then you would understand why. So at this point of me playing this match, I didn't know about these spots and what they're good for. So yeah, and you can see that I put on last and it starts leaking to these balloons, and okay, and I was like, okay, now that I push these balloons back here, I can micro this to first and save about like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lives, but I didn't hit them all in one go, so I had to leave it a second time and let these balloons start leaking through. Put this on last, and now if I had just left this on last, I would have leaked 1 life, so that would have saved me about 6 lives. So I microed this star monkey to first once again when these balloons were pushed, and then by the time this pops, I micro it to last straight away. You're probably thinking, well, isn't this obvious how to do target micro like this? Well, some people might do it when the balloons are here and target it to first, and then these balloons would go here and it would mess them up, since target micro would make it worse. And if you execute it incorrectly, then it's going to cost you. So that's why I'm showing you right now. So hopefully you guys don't make the same mistakes that I've made in the past. So let's keep going, and oops. And he starts layering reds and a bit of blues. So yeah, I put this Dark Monkey spot on last, and the blues haven't reached my second Dark Monkey spot here yet, or this area, and he starts sending pings, so I was like, okay, I don't need to get this up to a 0-3 Dark Monkey yet, since he sent so minimal, and I micro this triple dart to first, and look at that, it just cleans up these red balloons and saves like 8 dozen of lives. And I know the weakness of his spot. It's good against screech balloons, so I made sure to send space balloons. And because space balloons, you can't spend your money as fast on them, since they have like a split-second cooldown, then I can save up more money for my plantation instead. And he actually didn't need to get this Star Monkey to 0-2, but you do you. He could have just left it on the 0-1, since a 0-1 Dark Monkey, it has 2 PS, so yeah, you can see that he got up to 0-2, and it's only hitting with that balloon, and now it's hitting this balloon and this balloon, and these two balloons. So it's not hitting more than 2 balloons. So he could have kept that dart monkey on a 0-1 and got me to send more pinks to punish him. That's actually a good way to think about if you should get it to 0-2 and then 0-3, or keep it at a 0-1, or keep it at a 0-2. Because what's the point of going for a 0-2 if you're not going to be needing more than 2 PS? And although knowing these little things can help you a lot, they're definitely not going to win you the game. Like, just because you know these things and your opponent doesn't, don't get cocky and go like, haha, I'm going to win the game because I'm better than you. No, these aren't things that win you the game. These are things that do give you an early game advantage. And you could get a lead over your opponent, and you can spend that excess money on a rush, or to keep growing on farms, or to stop yourself from boosting to a rush and then having to get an Operation Dartstorm for a re-rush. It's just something like that. So yeah, and I accidentally sent a blue here for some reason, and I sent one set of blacks, but before he could get this up to a triple dart, he saw that I stopped sending, so he didn't really need to get this up to a 0-3, whereas he kept sending, so I did have to get my dart monkey to a 0-3. So that was a bad play on my part. The bonus is that I got to send it on round 7 and make him leak a few lives with it. And we both got our farms equally at the same time, so yeah. And he sent quite a bit of yellows, so yep. And I micro this to first so it can help catch a few leaks. That probably saved like 2 lives since it wasn't hitting the AI balloons and it started chasing a bit. So yeah, that wasn't too significant. And round 9, money comes up really quickly. I don't think I got my plantation in time to collect all 7 bananas, but I'm not going to go into that right now. There are better things to talk about. And oh my god, I accidentally sent 5 sets of leads, and I said oops. So a common mistake that noobs make is send 5 sets of leads at once. Say if your opponent already has a juggernaut up, and you're still going to be sending leads. What's the point of sending, like, say, extra money, like spending an extra hundreds of dollars on it, if your opponent is going to brush that off easily? So if you're a noob, or if you know that you make that mistake and people already have lead defense up, then now you know. So let's continue with our analysis. And I actually missed the lead right here, so I decided to road spike it. Generally I try and save my road spikes for moab, since that from ace, one of the hardest rushes to defend is just constant moabs after you went for your BIA. So yeah, and I managed to get this up to a spike bolt, so the whites and pinks behind his rush is going to be very ineffective, even though he sent a minimal amount to get me to build up to a spike bolt, so I'm not sure who benefits from this. And I leaked a couple of lives, and he has a lives advantage, so I try and continue the rush I usually do, and while he's distracted defending this rush, I decide to build up a farm and get this up to a plantation, catch up on farms. He used the road spike right there, so I was like, okay, moabs are going to be slightly harder for him to defend. He's going to be more prompted to boost and fan club. So yep, and surprisingly he did boost to that, so I assumed that the leads regrowed a bit too much, and I decided to send a small rush with 2 zebras and 2 whites behind it. He didn't even need to get up an Operation Dartstorm, but thank God the AI got in the way and covered it up so that he didn't know if I was sending anything extra behind it, so he couldn't determine how much I was sending, so he didn't want to gamble for it. he didn't want to make a gamble and assume that I sent a small thing, so he was forced to get up an Operation Dartstorm and drain himself. And since he was so distracted doing that, I sent so little money on that rush that I had excess money to get ahead on farms. Now, normally if there was no AI, then people wouldn't get up the Operation Dartstorm for such a puny rush like that. But I just got lucky. It wasn't my intention to layer it in with round 14 AI and make it look like a big rush. But hey, what can I say? I got lucky. So yeah, we're even on farms right now. Don't know if he has any excess money on hand. I do have 1,500 on hand, so that's looking good for us. So yeah, and he's about to send me a rush as well. So I just get this up to a spike pole, and I realized that he barely sent anything. So I didn't even need the spike pole, so I just sold it straight away, and got this up to 0-0 again, just in case he rushes me. And I managed to go for my BIA, and you can see the round's about to end. I thought he wasn't going to get his BIA on time as well, but he sold those farms hella quick and got his BIA just before round 16 starts, so I guess we're even. And I bloom boost. Bloom boosting actually makes the rush a lot less effective, according to some people. However, it does prompt him to boost a lot more. And he boosted, so I just stopped sending zebras straight away. And he was sending regen leads, so I knew that he was sending a big beefy fat rush. So I obviously had to boost straight away. And I had to, you can see that it was such a big rush. I didn't have money for a third spike pole, and you can see here that if I kept this juggernaut on last, look at how many balloons my two dart monkeys had to take care of. So I microed it to first, and just look at this beautiful cleanup. And I road spiked it as well, and my dart monkey stopped chasing and took care of the AI balloons at the back. So yeah, that's another occasion that target micro could save you. If a balloon was here, then and my juggernaut hit this way, then I could have probably been screwed. But I don't know, I had one extra road spike left, so yeah, we're both under defending like crazy. I realized I didn't have any camo detection, so yeah, I was about to go for a farm, as you can see here, but then I realized that it's very close to round 18, so I can't afford to go for a farm. It's moab territory right now. So I send a moab since both of us are under defending like crazy, and I send a lead just in case he tries to road spike it, so the leads can cushion the moab from taking damage. And he actually went down to 6 lives and boosted, so that was probably a poorly timed moab since he was about to boost anyway. But I do a bad thing and I fan club straight away, so he doesn't need to send me a moab since I'm already drained. But since I already collected from my BIA, I can get my plantation up straight away, or Republic, whatever. And I time my moab so that it comes with the round 19 AI, and he's going to be forced to fan club. And I thought he was about to die, but he does fan club on time, and I was about to die as well, and now he has the lives advantage. So yeah, pretty sure he's ahead of money. I realized that one spike isn't going to help me with moab since I'm so low on lives. Might as well put this at the back. And I try and layer my ceramics in with the AI, but I realized I didn't have a bloom boost. If I did have a bloom boost, then it would pass these Bolton juggernauts much quicker and would cause them much more damage, like the balloons would have gone here, or I don't know. But yeah, you guys should probably not copy me and send 3 sets of ceramics as well. A moab, it's far more cost efficient for its price, and it also does way more damage. Like, you need a lot more popping power. The only reason I sent 3 ceramics was that I thought I could get away with saving about 45 eco and $150, but yeah, that didn't really go well. He almost died though. He spammed with triple dart out of here, but he didn't boost, so also you can see him go for a second farm right here, and he does semi-leads. Okay, before I talk about these leads, let me just talk about a republic. Okay, so here's what to do. I've seen some people go for a republic and just save up for their factory before building their second farm. And I've seen people who got up their republic and then get a plantation and then get this up to a facility. So which method of farming is better? Well, it really depends on what the situation is like. Let me explain that in further detail. Say your bank is about to be full, alright, and on hand you barely have any money. You have nowhere near the amount of money to go for your factory, alright? So the moment you collect your, so that way, you should use this extra money to build up a plantation, then go for your facility. Because if your bank is almost full and you get it, say, at the start of round 21, right, collect this and get this up to a 40 facility at the start of round 41, you probably have extra money since you did collect $20,000 from this. You do have extra money that you can put into your plantation here, and yeah, you're going to be out of money, and the plantation is going to be giving you money on round 21. However, if you put your plantation down right here with the spare money that you have on round 20, the plantation is going to start giving you money on round 20 as opposed to round 21. And some people might say, well, why don't you just use that plantation money to help save up for a facility? Well, you can't, because all your money is going to be coming from the BIA anyway. And if you get up this plantation, you're still going to be getting the facility at the same time, because the money you're using to spend to upgrade this to a facility isn't coming from what you have on hand, so you can use this for a plantation. The money you're using is coming from the BIA, so you can use that money to get this up to a 40 facility. And by the time round 21 starts, your plantation would have given you, say, an extra couple of bananas, and it will still give you the money on round 21. So it's a slightly more efficient way of farming, and that's one example of a situation where you should go for a plantation and then go for your facility. A counter example is when, say, you have literally $13,000 on hand right now, and within one eco boost, you can get your facility and start making cash straight away. But then if you go for a plantation, then you're going to be getting your facility a bit later. And facility, it's the most efficient farm upgrade out of them all. That's definitely a bad idea. Even if you sell your plantation and go for your facility straight away, that's better than waiting. You're still going to be slightly drained from that plantation, because if you say get a plantation at the start of a round, it takes about the current round and the next round for it to pay you back and profit you when you sell it. Because when you sell it, you're only getting 80% of it back, and it takes 2 rounds for the farm to earn more than 20% of what it's worth. So if you get up the plantation and sell it straight away, then you're going to be drained a couple $100. So what do? Do you wait for your plantation to pay you back and then sell it to get a facility? No. A facility is still far more efficient than what you've lost in that couple $100. So it's better to just sell your plantation and go for your facility, even though it haven't paid you back yet, because you can't reverse time. So yeah, better to be drained a couple $100 than to drain yourself a couple $1,000. But anyways, let's continue on with this thing. He sent very few leads here, so I didn't really need to build anything. So yeah, and you can see here my BIA. I only had $5,000 on that, so I should have gone for a plantation, but I didn't because I wasn't thinking straight. But I decided to collect it anyway. The reason being that I didn't go for a plantation and I collected this BIA before it reached $20,000 or $18,000 is because it just hit round 22, and if you don't know what round 22 is, it's where the round goes by extremely quickly, and you can basically get a ton of crates from it. You can see 2 crates just popped out of nowhere, and that's pretty insane. Look, I got like 4 crates at once, and that's enough for me to just get up my Operation Darkstorm and defend whatever rush he's sending right now. So yeah. Yeah, whereas he's stuck with a republic and a plantation. So this is another example of what you do. So that's what I mean when I say it's situation dependent. And I got my 4-2 farm, whereas he missed out on round 22 and he's stuck on a 4-0 farm. You can see that he gets $600 from his crates, whereas I get about $900. So yeah, I have the farm advantage right now. And you're probably wondering, why did he send leads on round 22? Well, he was probably thinking that I wouldn't get my Operation Darkstorm in time. And if you send leads with the AI ceramics on round 22, 24, and 25, it can create a lot of chaos that even spamming 10 triple darts and a few juggernauts would struggle against. So that's why the Operation Darkstorm is generally better than triple darts in these rounds 22, 24, and 25. So yeah. And while he's trying to get up his 4-2, I have the farm advantage, and yeah. So let's skip forward a little bit, and he sends his next set of region leads on round 24, and he sends enough to the point where I can't rely on the Operation Darkstorm because it's on the opposite side of where I'm about to leak, and I don't have 150 lives. I only have 4 lives, so I had to be extra careful. So I had to boost straight away, and it was just enough to save me from that rush. If I saw that I was struggling even more, I would have had to sell my Republic or collect from my facility to get a fan club and activate the ability straight away. And you can see here that he only has 3 or 4 darts. And he's trying to spam them in time for this moab, but he knew he couldn't defend it since the AI was coming out soon, and yeah. And because of that, he sends these region leads a bit late. However, I do fan club just out of here, so yeah, I did have extra money anyway. And after I sold that fan club, I went for my facility. That drains me like a couple $1,000, like $1,000 or something. But he sent those region leads as well, so yeah. He's going to be drained as well, so I'll happily fan club and be safe and keep my farm advantage. So if you don't know how tough round 22, round 24, and round 25 is in terms of AI, just imagine round 22 as a lot of ceramics that comes out. Round 24 has the same amount of ceramics as round 22, except it has more other AI, so it's slightly harder. And round 25, it's a combination of round 22 and round 24. That's why it's really hard to defend round 25 AI with triple dot spam and juggernauts. But people would usually get 3 juggernauts and spam triple dots to defend it. I find myself better with an Operation Darkstorm since yeah, since it's cheaper and I can use more money into farms. Although you can argue if you get your triple dots up now, you're going to be much more prepared for Zomai Gods. It really depends on personal preference. If you're a good player, please comment down below which method of defending is better. And yeah. And I don't know why I sent these few leads, and I was about to ready up for a fan club, but my Operation Dartstorm helped me out with that moab brush a lot. We both get up a fan club for around 27 AI. And let's skip forward a little. And right now you can see that we're kind of even on farms. The difference being that he kept his BIA, whereas I sold my BIA and went for a facility. Because it's nearing round 32. Eco isn't going to be that much of a big factor, so I might as well get my facility right now and get a lot of short-term money. Whereas his BIA long-term money, it's going to be pretty useless in the later rounds, and not as effective as my short-term money. So yeah, and also a facility is worth 10,000 more than a BIA. Although you can argue that he might have $20,000 in his BIA, I have this amount of money saved up. So I still have a slight farm advantage, and yeah. So let's go forward a bit. And I decided to send him a oh my god, because my micro, it's like average, I guess. But I don't have the lives advantage right now, so I don't have the incentive to go for the round 28 defense. So I had to start making him chase early by sending space oh my god. And I was like, oh god, he's sending a oh my god as well. So what I have to do is I have to start getting my Dart Monkeys, getting a couple of fan clubs so I can have infinite fan clubs. Some people just like having one fan club at a time, selling that, and then getting another fan club and getting another triple dart, because that way they can save more money. But I just like having infinite fan clubs so I can save time, since my micro is average, it's not the best. And yeah, you can see that I sell this Republic so I don't start chasing as much. And wait, I think I missed something here. And yeah, the moment you try and get up a Spectre for round 32, you can sell all your Juggernauts and Spike-Bolts because they're not going to be useful. The Spectre is going to be handling all the balloon AI, and you don't need your Juggernauts for that. So more money into ground zeros for you. And you can see me getting that up, and I'm trying to, like, you can see down here that, okay, look down here, okay? You can see that I'm trying to get all my Dart Monkeys on strong. That way, the moment that oh my god is popped into BFBs, they don't focus on the BFB. Because otherwise, that way, the Dart Monkeys start chasing to space oh my gods, and the oh my gods can eventually get up to this point. So you can see me that the moment this pops into BFBs, some of my Dart Monkeys are already targeting my oh my gods. Now I may have missed a few Dart Monkeys because some of them are still on first, but I was just really into the moment, so I didn't really realize that. So my Dart Monkeys can start handling the space oh my gods, and my Monkey Ace can handle the BFBs. You're probably wondering, why don't you just ground zero like the oh my god layer just to stop yourself from chasing? Well, if you are chasing lows, then yes, you do ground zero the oh my god layers. It's generally a bad idea to send to ground zero right now, because as you can see, there's only 3 oh my gods right now. The ground zero, I believe, does 400 damage, I think. And you're only doing 1,200 total damage to these blimps, whereas if you turn one oh my god layer, strip it out, and make it turn into 4 BFBs, then you're going to be doing 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times 400, that's going to be 1,600 damage. So yeah, unless they send fast cooldown, they're going to be spending a lot more money into fast cooldown than space, because space, you can't spend your money as fast. So if you keep constantly ground zeroing space oh my gods, you're going to drain yourself. And if they send fast cooldown, there'll probably be like 10 or 20 Zomagods on the screen, and that way you can just freely ground zero however you want, because like, even though you are draining yourself with constant ground zero spam, it's worth it because they're sending like what, $100,000. That's way more than you're going to be spending on your ground zero. So he has the incentive to just go to round 38 and win. If he lasts that long, but I think he just decided to send me Zomagods as well. I have no idea why. So yeah. We're both doing the same thing. We're not ground zeroing the space Zomagod layers. So yeah, and he's selling his factories faster than me. I try not to sell my factories. I generally try to sell my specters and then my factories. Oh wait, no, I did it here. Okay, never mind. And I'm chasing slightly more than he is. Well, no, now he's chasing slightly more than I am. And yeah. And I realized that at this point, my micro is pretty shitty at the moment. So I can't really keep up with Space on my gods, so I have to all out and send fast cooldowns on my gods right now. And you can see that he doesn't recognize these fast cooldowns on my gods and start ground zeroing right away. He waits for this to become BFBs before starting to ground zero. That is a bad idea because if you treat these as Space on my gods and let your fan club handle it, they're only going to have a maximum of 4 PS, so that's going to handle 1, 2, 3, 4. These front Zomagods, assuming that their projectiles have homing on it and it targets all 4 of these. Not only is that not enough for like 6 or 7 of them I have in this bunch, these projectiles are not homing, so it's probably going to hit like the first 2 Zomagods here, and the rest are just going to be unaffected by the fan club. So he should really start ground zeroing right away. If you see fast cooldowns on my gods like that. With space, you can continue what I'm doing, and just yeah. And the reason I'm not getting my ground zeros and just activating the ability one at a time is because if you turn these BFBs into moabs, the moabs, they're going to travel towards the end of your track a lot faster. So I actually got a sniper up there if you didn't realize, and you can see the moabs are traveling much faster than the BFBs. So if I activated say 2 or 3 ground zeros right now and they turn into moabs, I would struggle. So yeah, see, the moabs were about to enter through. So that's why I try and use like 5 ground zeros at the same time. Don't know why I didn't boost yet. I think I'd boost soon. Should have fan clubbed before starting to spam these ground zeros. I have no idea what I was doing, but yeah. And instead of fan clubbing, the Zomagods, I ground zero and then fan club, which was probably one of my stupidest plays in this game, because you can see that the ground zeros barely did anything to the Zomagod layers, and now my Dark Monkeys are going to do absolutely barely anything to these BFBs, and I ground zeroed more, and they turned into mobs, and I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm not going to defend this, and before I die, he dies just a split second earlier because I sent these fast cooldowns on my gods and he didn't recognize them in time. So that is GG. I have won this match. When you send fast cooldowns on my gods, depends on your micro. If you can last to say round 38, then you can all out on round 34 or 35. But if you can't even survive round 32s on my gods, then you should probably start sending fast cooldowns on my gods a lot earlier, if they rush you as well. Also, I forgot to mention this here, but I've seen a lot of people, they put their darts, so it's along the track like this, so their darts go along like that and like that. That's a very bad idea because for the Zomagods, they're only going to be able to hit this spot and they're not going to be start hitting the Zomagods early. Whereas if you put them higher up like me, then even though they couldn't reach this spot and this spot, the specters can do that, and my Dark Monkeys, they can do work here and here and here. There's earlier detection, and you can hit some zombie guards down here as well a lot more easily, since these dark monkey spots wouldn't reach that. And if you put your dark monkeys behind here as well, not all of your dark monkeys are going to be able to start hitting the zombie guards straight away if they are spaced, so do keep that in mind. So yeah, that's going to be it for today's episode. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed. Hopefully you guys have learned something as well. If you're a good player and you've realized that I've made a mistake or I've made a play that wasn't the best or wasn't optimal, and you have a better way of playing that part of the game at that moment, please comment that down in the comment section down below and explain why, so me and my subscribers as a community can learn from that. And yeah, and if you're one of the more inexperienced players and you don't know what one of the terms I was talking about means, like say for example chasing, if you don't know what that means, or if you don't know what 0-4 or 2-3 means, then comment that down in the comment section down below. Hopefully one of my subscribers can comment and clarify it for you. If not, then I'll clarify it for you myself. If you haven't watched part 1 and part 2, then I don't know what you were doing watching this video. Please go watch those 2 right now. I have extra useful information in those parts of the videos as well. And if we can hit 50 likes, then I'm going to be analyzing the offside game of me versus AsianSensation, because I have recorded it and I did a live comm on it, but I just forgot to record my voice again, because the thing with my recorder, right, I press record voice or something and it starts recording, and the moment I press record, the record voice thing deactivates, and sometimes I don't recognize that, and I was too lazy to post comment as well. AsianSensation has our best of 3 posted on his channel, so I'll post that video in the description below as well. Please go check him out. He's an awesome YouTuber. Remember, 50 likes if you want me to analyze me versus AsianSensation. Apart from that, that'll be the end of today's video. This is probably like 45 minutes long, probably an hour, I have no idea. See you guys in the next video.